Hey guys, today is Friday, January 29th, and welcome to episode 45 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia, and today we'll be talking about finished objects, works in progress, pretty things, local delights, and wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. First, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. If you haven't already, there's a group in Ravelry that you can join. It's called the Knits and Stuff Podcast, and I'll put a link in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So let's get started. Finished objects. I have a larger finished object this week. It is in my Silver Shed project bag, and it is the winter sea shawl. If you guys have been watching the show, you've been seeing my progress on it, and I finally finished the other week, and this is what it looks like. It's not blocked yet. So this is the Winter Sea Shawl by Liz Avenanti, and it is out of A Verb for Keeping Warm Clover in the colorway Beach Glass, and I knit it on US 6s, 4.0 millimeters, and the little blue stitch marker is where I was the last time I showed it. So with that amount of yarn I had left, I was able to do a few more rows and then bind off. And I was playing yarn chicken, so I had just barely enough yarn left over. Actually, I still had a few. See, I'm wondering, because I was weighing it as I was knitting each row, and I wasn't sure exactly how much I was using per row, because my scale only weighs to the nearest gram, and it seemed that I was using 2 grams per row, but then it got lighter and lighter, and I was using only 1 gram, or maybe less than 1 gram. So yeah, it wasn't a very accurate scale for this yarn, at least, because it's really light and lofty, but this is how much I have left. So I might have been able to do 1 more row and then bind off with this, but I'm not sure. I didn't want to cut it too close. So, but yeah, so I pretty much used all of it, and it hasn't been washed and blocked yet. I think I already said that, but I just need to soak it, and then I'll block it out, and you might be able to see the stitch pattern a little bit better once it's blocked. But it's a chevron stitch pattern. You can kind of see there's knits and purls that make up the pattern, and it's a free pattern too, so you can go check it out and see. And yeah, I'm really excited to be able to wear this. I think it'll be it's a good size. Yeah. I'm going to need to start wearing shawl pins, because I've noticed that when I wear triangular shawls, they tend to, the ends tend to fall backwards. So, yeah, I'm going to need to start pinning them down so they don't fall off. But yeah, that's what my finished object is. And I do have another finished object, but I don't know if it really counts as a finished object. So I showed these last episode, and let me put this away. And they were the Heather Lynn's Home Year in Stitches calendar kit. So I finished January, and that's what it looks like. I finished it with like a week to spare in January, so I hung it up, and I am going to start working on February, so it would be a works in progress, but I haven't actually started it yet. So this is February's, and there's a lot of stitches in February, so yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it this week, or it'll probably go into February when I start my work on it. So I haven't even poked holes in it yet, so that's going to take a while. And I kind of wish I had some sort of hole punch that made holes this small, as small as little tips on each X, because when I poke with the needle, it still leaves the paper in the hole, so that when I come through the hole, it kind of pulls that paper out from the back. So it'd be a lot easier. Oh my goodness, sorry about that. It'd be a lot easier if I could just punch the hole straight through, or if they were pre-punched, that would be so much easier. But they're not. So yeah, so that is a finished object, I guess, for the January one, and hopefully I'll be working on February soon. So works in progress. I've only been doing, I've been kind of a monogamous knitter. I've only been working on the cardigan that I showed a while back, and I haven't showed it in a while because I was trying to finish the shawl so that I could use the cable from the shawl, or from the needles, from my Addi interchangeable needles. I was using the large cable for the shawl, and I needed to transfer it over to the cardigan, so I was trying to finish that up so I could work on the cardigan. So this is the Campsite Cardi by Alicia Plummer, and I'm knitting them on US 8 Addi Natura clicks out of Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein, in the colorway Sycamore, and it's sitting in my Needle Runs Through It large box bag. And I was here the last time I showed it to you, so I did a few rows. I'm almost ready to separate for the sleeves, so that'll be exciting, and then I can start knitting on the body. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've done on the cardigan. I haven't really made any modifications to the pattern. Oh, but I did mess up somewhere when I was counting the stitches in between each stitch marker. I managed to miss, I was one stitch short on one of the sections, and that was because I managed to miss an increase at the very beginning. I got the first increase, you probably won't be able to see it, but I got the first increase, it's on that side, and then I missed the second one, and I think it was the second one, yeah. Missed the second increase on just one side. I got the first side, but I didn't get it on the other side of the stitch marker. So I'm probably gonna just forget about it, and because it's on the sleeve that I'm missing the stitch, I'll just increase the stitch when I pick up the sleeves, or start knitting on the sleeves. I'll just add one, probably. It might not even make a difference, so I might not even worry about it. I guess for stitch count, it might matter for like decreases and things, but one stitch shouldn't make too much of a difference. But yeah, if it was not so far back, I might have tried to add it, but it was all the way at the beginning, so oh well. So that is all that I've worked on, really, for my knitting. And yes, that's works in progress. So that will bring us to Pretty Things, and I have an exciting addition to my stash to show off. So Miss Babs had a sale. I think she does an annual year-end sale, or Christmas sale maybe. I forget if it was a year-end sale, or because I think I bought it around Christmas time. Oh, I think it was like a day after Christmas sale. I don't know. See, now I don't remember. I should have looked that up. But so I went in and bought a lot of her stuff, and I'll show off in the little. She always sends a stitch marker with the yarn, and then it's kind of hard to see. It's a little green one this time. It's Miss Babs' favorite stitch markers, and then a little sample of some yarn. I don't know if she always sends a sample. I feel like I might have not always gotten one, but yeah, so there's that little sample. And it's Hot Shot fingering yarn, not that you guys just saw that on the label, but so I got a number of things, and let's start with the big one. Sorry for the crinkling, hopefully the tissue paper is not too loud, but I love that she has her own custom tissue paper. That's Miss Babs. So anyway, so I got this chunky yarn. It's Picture Finish, and that's the colorway. And it's K2 is the type of the base yarn. So it's K2 in the Photo Finish color. Oh, I wrote that wrong. This is Photo Finish, but in my notes I have Picture Finish. I think Picture Finish was what's on the confirmation email too, so I don't know which one it is. But it's this nice, like, kind of peachy, taupey color that, yeah, that's really pretty chunky, and I thought I would make another chunky cowl out of it, so that I can have two pink chunky cowls. I have that cowl that I made out of twinkle yarn, so it's like super chunky or bulky, and I wear that a lot. It's a cable cowl, so this seems like it would be nice as a chunky cowl. Or maybe there's probably enough to make a cowl and a hat maybe, or some fingerless mitts or something, some bulky mitts. Anyway, I haven't really thought about what I wanted to make with these too much yet, but had to snatch it up because it's so pretty. So that is, I'm gonna stop admiring the yarn that I got. That's the first pretty thing, and then I also wanted to get something to use for sock yarn. Although I don't know, this actually looks really light. Well, maybe not. Oh, it smells so woolly. So I got two skeins of Northumbria fingering, and one is in the colorway Beautiful Dreamer, and the other one is in Perfectly Reckless. So this has got some purples and pinks and a splash of green and this bright neon-ish, like a yellow green. So that's that one. And then these colors, I think I have a lot of Malabrigo that I bought in very similar colors as this one, but not as bright. This one is has more bright blues and some grays and purples. So maybe I'll make some socks out of these, or I'm not sure. It's 100% VFL, so I don't know how well it'll hold up as socks, but I think in the description for the yarn that they list socks as an example. So although I also wanted to make socks out of a single ply yarn, so I'm sure if that would hold up, then this would hold up fine too. So I don't wear my socks too much, or too like, I don't really wear them out actually. I feel like I should wear my socks out more, but I don't. So they should hold up okay, because I think it's 3 ply yarn. So yeah, so that's those two fingering weight, and then one more from there. I'm running out of space for all this tissue paper. So I also got a gradient set called Carmen, and this is what they look like. I'll try not to get that glare. I don't really want to take them out of the package, but I guess I could show one side at a time. So it starts at this purple. I have a lot of purples. It starts at this purple, purpley pink color and goes down to a dark gray. And I think I had a pattern in mind when I bought it, but I don't remember what it was. So I'll have to figure out, because I think she has some suggested patterns that a lot of her yarn goes for, or like the examples that she has knit up at her booths, like at Stitches West, which I've been going to. That's an event that's coming up in February. But yeah, so I think there's something that I can make out of this. I'm sure I can check out later too. But yeah, I'm excited for gradient kit. So yeah, that is all of the pretty things for this episode. I still have one more thing I can show, and hopefully I don't buy too much more between now and the next episode. But yeah, that is pretty things. So that brings us to local delights. A couple weeks ago, we went to well, my boyfriend was looking for some ramen. Not just like the top ramen, but like an actual ramen restaurant. And we found this pop-up ramen shop called Ippo Ramen, IPPO. And I'll put a link in the show notes to, I don't think they have do they have a website? I know they have a Facebook page, which I think is updated more frequently than the Twitter, because that's how we found out that they were at the Sierra Nevada, that's my phone, Sierra Nevada Torpedo Room, and which we didn't even know that existed either. So the Ippo Ramen is just this one guy that runs his own little pop-up ramen stand, and he's normally by Tokyo Fish, which is a market on San Pablo in Berkeley, and in the Sierra Nevada Torpedo Room, which is a bar, I guess, for Sierra Nevada that is down on 4th Street, and they have a bunch of different Sierra Nevada beers, and I don't know if they had ciders. And then there were people playing board games there when we went, so that was kind of cool. I think they have just like a handful of board games that you could pick out and play. And then the Ippo Ramen was there that night serving ramen. So we got some ramen, and it was really good. I don't normally like restaurant ramen, which is kind of weird. The like Japanese style ramen I don't usually like. But I thought it was pretty good, even for me not liking it, and Will really liked it. So yeah, if you're looking for a ramen place, check out Ippo Ramen, and I think he's usually around during lunch hours at Tokyo Fish, it seems like, and then on some evenings at the Sierra Nevada Torpedo Room. So yeah, that is Local Delights, and that brings us to Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, and we've finally reached the season finales. I guess the 2 last episodes of season 9. So if you don't want any spoilers for Doctor Who, although by now you probably have seen them because I'm so behind on at least talking about them. And but if you don't want any spoilers, I'll put up a little thing at the bottom that says that I'm talking about Doctor Who, and you can come back when it's done, or you can just sign off now. And yeah, so season 9, episode 11, Heaven Sent, and season 9, episode 12, Hellbent. And I didn't even notice the like 2 titles and the way that they kind of rhymed with each other and went with each other, so that was kind of cool. But man, these episodes, well, at least episode 11 was crazy. So the Doctor, we ended episode 10 with the Doctor coming, getting teleported by Ashilda to some unknown location, and the beginning of episode 11 shows him getting teleported in, and after you see this dying body trying to reach that teleporting room, and then he disintegrates. So you see the Doctor teleporting in, and he's trapped in this castle like maze with moving walls and tons of different rooms with oddly personal items in them, like a painting of Clara, and what kind of appears to be Death walking around and looking for, I guess it would be Death because he, yeah. So so the episode goes through and you see the doctor trying to figure out where he is and why he's there, and it's just him and this hooded figure, and it's so eerie yet it's, I don't know, this episode was pretty intense. So and there was definitely a part where I thought he was digging his own grave, but for some reason, actually I don't know why that was really necessary for him to dig in the garden. um, but there were clues that were left for him in a sense, to find a certain room and to do a certain thing. And I didn't even pick it up until the very end when I realized that, well, until like he picked it up basically, where you realize that the doctor is uh, essentially in this loop because this castle puzzle that he's in resets every room at the end of um, this like cycle, and by resetting the room to its original state, that means that the doctor gets re-teleported into that room. So it's really well. So the doctor sees all these skulls in the ocean below him that this castle is surrounded by, and it's really all of his skulls because he's been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And so now the doctor's really old, and because he used to be in the hundreds when I first started watching, and now he is thousands and thousands of years old. I forget if it goes on like to the millions and to the billions, because he says the stars change, which was really interesting. It was kind of a funny uh, thing to notice that the doctor would say the stars are all wrong, so he must be like he must have been teleported to a different time, but really it was because he's been there for so long, been trapped in this castle puzzle cycle for so long, and has been trying to punch through a diamond wall to get out of this prison. And yeah, it was really interesting. And so the whole purpose at the end, you find out the whole purpose of this prison was to get the doctor to confess what he knew about the hybrid. And so the hooded figure that was perceived as death would leave him alone if he confessed a truth that he's never said before um, to anyone. And because he was basically trapped inside this confession dial. So yeah, so that was an interesting episode, and he was able to break through this diamond wall by punching through it, and I feel like that might have not been very feasible in reality. But it's Doctor Who, so it's okay. Yeah, and then it turns out that the Time Lords were the ones that trapped him there, and it seemed kind of messed up to do that just to find out about the hybrid. But I guess they didn't have anything better to do because they were at the end of the universe, and were worried about this prophecy that the hybrid was going to bring the end of their people. And that would be episode 12, Hellbent. And the doctor, he tricks the Time Lords into thinking that Clara is the key to figuring out the information about the hybrid, but really he just wants to save her from dying, but he can't, and as hard as he tries. But they do teleport, or they freeze her time stream and pull her out of right before she dies, and then they go on this adventure. And I think like the doctor's not entirely sure what the hybrid is until he realizes that it's himself, and he's the one that's destroying the Time Lords by pulling Clara out of her time stream and basically breaking time by doing so. So it was kind of an interesting episode because the Doctor was really reckless, and they mentioned that at the end, that the Master was the one, or Missy was the one that brought Clara and the Doctor together, and because she knew that the Doctor would do really reckless things in order to save Clara, and thus bring the end to the Time Lords or just bring chaos to all of the universe. So that was interesting how they tied that back in. And you got to see Ashilda again, and there was at the end a little spin-off that Clara and Ashilda would go travel the world together. And the way that the episode was framed with the Doctor telling Clara a story about a companion who he knew, and as it gets towards the end of the episode, you realize that they had to erase, or the Doctor wants to erase Clara's memory so that she won't know who he is, and he won't need to protect her anymore. And so you think that Clara lost her memory, and she's another Donna Noble, because that's what happened. Well, spoilers if you haven't seen the Donna Noble storyline with David Tennant, but yeah, that's what happens to Donna, and everyone was like, no, not another Donna, because it would be so sad. And then it's even worse because Clara did something to that memory eraser, and which has a better name than that, and reversed the effects, so that the Doctor was the one that got his memory erased, and not Clara. And he didn't get it completely erased because he was telling her about telling this Clara about his companion that he knew, but he couldn't picture it all, and he was trying to find her, but he couldn't. Although when Clara left, and like the Doctor was clearly in this TARDIS area before, he would obviously know it was her, and then yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't like go after her anyway. So unless there was something blocking his thoughts of Clara and who she was. But anyway, so that was the season finale of Doctor Who, and it was a pretty good finale. It was really sad though, but and again, I watched it on the plane, so I was like wanting to cry while I was on the plane. But yeah, but it was a good ending to Clara's story, and she definitely improved a lot over the course of her tenure in Doctor Who. Because at first her character, well, as Oswald Oswald, when she was in the Dalek, that was a really good episode. But then as her role continued on as the normal Clara, she was just okay. But then now these like past couple episodes definitely have been pretty good. So anyway, that is all of Doctor Who. That's long-winded, but next time I'll probably be able to watch the Christmas special, which is now like a month later, and then talk about that in 2 weeks. And yeah, that's all of Doctor Who, and that's all I have for episode 45. Social media stuff, I'm Eliana Knits on Ravelry, and Unperfect529 on Twitter, Instagram. I haven't really been using Instagram much lately. Yeah, I really need to take more pictures. And then and Pinterest, everywhere else is Unperfect529. And yeah, there's the group on Ravelry. Feel free to join. Feel free to discuss Doctor Who in the episode threads. And yeah, oh, and I mentioned Stitches West, so that is February 20 something, I think. I should check. And so I'll be going to that probably just on Saturday. There we go, February 18th through the 21st. And I'm not signed up for any classes, but I'll probably just go to the market on Saturday or maybe Sunday, one of those 2 days. But if you see me there, say hi. Tell me that you know me from the podcast, otherwise I won't have any idea. And yeah, I'll probably just be shopping for more yarn, and I might go, there's the pottery booth that's gonna be there. Oh my gosh, I just blanked on her name. That makes those mugs. that are really popular at Rhinebeck. She makes like the special edition ones, and I think she's gonna have a booth at Stitches West, so I want to definitely go check that out. And I'll probably go check out the Miss Babs booth so I can pick up more yarn. The problem with buying Miss Babs stuff online is that the colors aren't always the same as they are in the picture because they're different dye lots. So at least when you're in the booth, you can see what exactly what the yarn looks like. So I'll probably go pick up some stuff there. So I'm sure I'll have plenty to talk about on the episode after Stitches West. But yeah, Stitches West, you guys should go. And if I see you there, say hi. And yeah, that's all I have. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.